So welcome to part 2, where I'm going to discuss all the negatives of the iPhone XR and then show all the reasons on why you should not buy it. If you want to check yesterday's episode where I showed all of the reasons you should buy it, there's a link in the cards. Anyways, this episode I'm going to discuss all the negatives after the intro. Hey, it's JK, welcome back to another episode of the JK Tech Show on the channel. It's like season 1 episode 18 or something. These episodes are going pretty well so far. I've seen much better engagement on the channel since I started the show. Since I've made it into a sort of formal show as opposed to regular tech videos. Learn more about that in the cards. Anyways, if you don't care about that, you're going to care about what's to come. After, I'd just like to say, make sure to follow me on all social medias at JKYT, because I post daily regular great content over there. And let's jump in. The main sort of thing that I'd like to discuss is the pricing of this. If you go back to yesterday's episode, then you'll see that I discussed that the price was real good. I'm not going to go back on that. The price is real good compared to the other iPhones, is what I clearly said. So what I'm talking about is the negative in terms of the price is the fact that you can get pretty much every other smartphone on the market, which is superior to this, for the same price. For example, the Google Pixel 2, which came out like last year, really good device, arguably better specs. It beats this device on many specs fronts, much better camera. Not to say that this camera isn't great, but you kind of get what I mean. And as a matter of fact, the Pixel 2 comes in $100 cheaper, and the Pixel 2 XL is the same price as this iPhone 10, as the iPhone XR maxes out at. So you could get an Android device with some better specs, a better camera, for a cheaper price. Now you see what I mean in terms of the bang for your buck, which I'll discuss a little bit later on. But what I really want to discuss now is the display. The resolution of the display is what I really mean, because the display size is really great and all that, but the resolution is disappointing. It doesn't come close to the more expensive iPhones, or to any other device at the same or similar price point. Even cheaper devices like the Pixel 2 or even more cheaper devices have better displays. So this was real disappointing for me. The Liquid Retina display, in terms of specs, I'll read it for you right now. You get an LCD display with 1792 by 828 pixels with a 326 ppi. Now you see what I mean in terms of disappointing resolution. Not something I'm a fan of. Now it's just the overall value and bang for your buck, which I don't like about this device, because it doesn't really have a bang for your buck. Here's why. I discussed that the Pixel 2, which is, you could argue that it's much better, comes in $100 cheaper at a starting price point. The XL is the same max out points. So you can very clearly tell that this does not match the value that you're getting. It does have a bunch of positives, as you can see in yesterday's episode. But if you're like on 50-50, like you don't really need to get an iPhone, like it doesn't matter whether it's Android or iPhone, then I would recommend you go with the Android, because they're cheaper. If you have the money, I am sort of an Apple fanboy. I do have an iPhone 10, the 2017 OG version, had it for like 6 months now. It's real great. But if you're not like, you sort of, it doesn't matter whether you get an Android or an iPhone, I would probably go with the Android. If you want an iPhone, then yeah, this is a good recommendation, because it's much cheaper than other devices. It has many benefits, as you can see in yesterday's episode. So I'll wrap this episode up here. This is like a shorter episode. But anyways, those are the negatives. You can weigh them out and sort of think on whether or not you'd like this. And in terms of price points of the other devices, they'll be in the description down below. I'll give you some devices on the Android front, some on the Apple front, so you can compare them in the description down below. Without further ado, I really do hope that you subscribe to this channel. I do post 2 videos a day. One of these are a tech video every 6 a.m. So join me tomorrow at 6 a.m. for this episode. And one of them is the 6 p.m. vlog, which happens every single day. I sort of create a movie about the work and the hustle and everything that goes into the content that I create every single day. And yeah, that's kind of about it for this episode. Please make sure to like and subscribe, pow that subscribe button. I'll see you at 6 p.m. tonight, because here at AKJK, the grind is daily.